The Eagles were just right in my wheelhouse. The way they wrote songs, the way they did harmonies, what they did was inspiring to me.
At 67, Vince Gill breaks his silence on joining the Eagles, revealing the challenges and triumphs of stepping into Glenn Frey's shoes. From an unexpected phone call to navigating band dynamics and winning over skeptical fans, Gill's journey with the legendary rock group has been a roller coaster of emotions and musical growth. Vince Gill's early career. Before joining the Eagles, Vince Gill had already established himself as a country music powerhouse. With a career spanning decades, Gill had racked up numerous hits, Grammy Awards, and a devoted fan base. His smooth tenor voice and exceptional guitar skills made him a standout in Nashville. But by the mid-2010s, Gill found himself at a crossroads. The country music landscape was changing, and like many artists of his generation, he was trying to find his place in an evolving industry. He continued to tour and release albums, but the chart-topping success of his earlier years had become more elusive. Despite these challenges, Gill remained a respected figure in the music world. His reputation as a skilled musician and collaborator was undiminished. He frequently appeared as a guest artist on other musicians' albums and was known for his willingness to support and mentor younger artists. It was during this period of transition that Gill received a call that would change the trajectory of his career and life. Little did he know that his years of experience and musical versatility were about to lead him down an unexpected path, the unexpected call. On what seemed like an ordinary day, Vince Gill's phone rang. The voice on the other end belonged to Irving Azoff, the manager of the Eagles. Gill, thinking it was a casual call, was unprepared for what came next. Azoff explained that the Eagles were looking for someone to join the band following the passing of Glenn Frey. They wanted Gill to be that someone. The news hit Gill like a ton of bricks. The Eagles weren't just any band. They were rock legends, a group whose music had defined an era. At first, Gill thought it might be a joke, but as Azoff continued to speak, the reality of the situation sank in. This was a genuine offer to join one of the most iconic bands in rock history. Gill's mind raced. He had always been a fan of the Eagles, admiring their harmonies and songwriting. But joining them? That was something he had never even considered. The opportunity was enormous, but so was the responsibility. As the conversation continued, Gill learned more about what the Eagles were looking for. They needed someone who could not only sing and play guitar, but also someone who understood the band's legacy and could contribute to their sound while respecting their history. By the end of the call, Gill was overwhelmed with a mix of excitement and apprehension. He knew that if he accepted, his life would never be the same. The challenge of filling Glenn Frey's shoes. Accepting the offer to join the Eagles wasn't just about becoming a member of a famous band. It meant stepping into the role previously held by Glenn Frey, a founding member and key figure in the group's success. Frey wasn't just a singer and guitarist, he was the voice behind some of the Eagles' most beloved songs and a crucial part of their songwriting team. Vince Gill was acutely aware of the legacy he was being asked to continue. Frey's contributions to songs like Take It Easy, Heartache Tonight, and Hotel California were ingrained in the fabric of rock music. Fans had grown up with Frey's voice and had deep emotional connections to his performances. The pressure of living up to Frey's memory was immense. Gill knew that no matter how well he performed, there would always be comparisons. Some fans would inevitably feel that no one could truly replace Glenn Frey. Gill approached this challenge with a mix of respect and determination. He didn't want to imitate Frey. That would be impossible and disrespectful. Instead, he aimed to honor Frey's contributions while bringing his own musical identity to the band. This meant spending countless hours studying the Eagles' catalog, not just learning the notes and lyrics, but understanding the spirit behind each song. Gill immersed himself in the band's history, wanting to grasp the essence of what made the Eagles so special to millions of fans worldwide. The emotional weight of this transition was significant. Gill felt a responsibility not just to the band and the fans, but to Frey's memory. He wanted to ensure that the music they had created together continued to live and resonate with audiences. As he prepared for his first performances with the band, Gill grappled with feelings of excitement, anxiety, and a deep sense of purpose. He knew that every note he sang and every chord he played would be scrutinized, but he was ready to face the challenge head-on, driven by his love for the music and his respect for the Eagles' legacy. Vince's musical compatibility with the Eagles. Despite the pressure, Vince Gill's musical background made him an excellent fit for the Eagles. His years in country music had honed his skills in harmony singing, a crucial element of the Eagles' sound. Gill's voice, with its clear tone and wide range, blended seamlessly with the existing voices in the band. Don Henley, in particular, had faith in Gill's abilities. He recognized that Gill's musicianship went beyond just technical skill. Gill had a deep understanding of various musical styles, from country to rock, which allowed him to adapt to the Eagles' diverse catalog. Gill's guitar playing was another asset. The Eagles were known for their intricate guitar work, and Gill's expertise added a new dimension to their sound. He could easily switch between rhythm and lead, filling different roles as needed. When it came to approaching the Eagles' established sound, Gill took a nuanced approach. He didn't try to reinvent the wheel, but instead looked for ways to enhance what was already there. In rehearsals, he experimented with subtle variations in his guitar parts and vocal harmonies, always with an ear toward preserving the essence of each song. This careful balance of respecting tradition while bringing something new caught the attention of his bandmates. They appreciated Gill's willingness to serve the songs rather than showcase his individual talents. As they began to perform together, it became clear that Gill's addition to the band was more than just filling a vacant spot. His musical sensibilities and collaborative spirit were breathing new life into the Eagles' sound, setting the stage for an exciting new chapter in the band's history. Behind the scenes, band dynamics. Joining a band with decades of history came with its own set of challenges. The Eagles weren't just colleagues, they were a tight-knit group with established dynamics and ways of working. Vince Gill found himself navigating a complex web of relationships and unspoken rules. Each member of the Eagles brought their own personality to the mix. Don Henley, known for his strong leadership and perfectionism, often set the tone for the group. Joe Walsh's free-spirited nature provided a counterbalance, bringing levity to tense situations. Timothy B. Schmidt's calm demeanor often helped smooth over disagreements. Gill observed these dynamics carefully, trying to find his place within the existing structure. He noticed how decisions were made, how conflicts were resolved, and how ideas were shared. It was a delicate balance of strong personalities, each essential to the band's chemistry. At times, Gill felt like an outsider looking in. The other members shared years of experiences, inside jokes, and a shorthand communication that comes from long-term collaboration. Breaking into this established circle wasn't easy, and there were moments when Gill questioned whether he truly belonged. Rehearsals and songwriting sessions revealed the intricacies of the band's creative process. The Eagles were known for their meticulous approach to crafting songs and arrangements. Gill had to adapt to this level of detail, which sometimes meant long hours of fine-tuning parts that might seem insignificant to an outsider. Despite these challenges, Gill also witnessed the strong bond that kept the Eagles together. They had weathered personal and professional storms over the years, and that shared history created a resilience within the group. Gill recognized that becoming part of this bond would take time and patience. As he spent more time with the band, Gill began to find small ways to contribute to the group dynamic. His easygoing nature and sense of humor helped ease tensions during long rehearsals. His willingness to listen and learn earned him respect from his bandmates. Gradually, Gill started to feel less like an outsider and more like an integral part of the Eagles' story. The process wasn't always smooth, but it was a journey that would ultimately strengthen both Gill and the band as a whole. The first performance. The day of Vince Gill's first performance with the Eagles arrived with a mix of anticipation and nervous energy. Months of preparation had led to this moment, and the pressure was palpable. As Gill stood backstage, guitar in hand, he could hear the murmur of the audience, their expectations hanging in the air. The other band members gathered around, offering words of encouragement. They had been through this before, adding new members over the years, but they understood the unique challenge Gill faced. This wasn't just any show, it was a statement about the future of the Eagles. As the lights dimmed and the band took the stage, a hush fell over the crowd. The opening chords of the first song rang out and Gill stepped up to the microphone. In that moment, years of experience took over and he began to sing. The audience's reaction was a mix of curiosity and cautious enthusiasm. Some fans cheered loudly, embracing this new chapter, while others listened intently, reserving judgment. As the show progressed, the energy in the room began to shift. Gill's voice blended harmoniously with the others, and his guitar work added a fresh dimension to familiar songs. By the time they reached the encore, the atmosphere had transformed. The initial skepticism had given way to acceptance, even excitement. Gill's genuine respect for the Eagles' legacy shone through in every note, winning over even the most doubtful fans. As the final chords faded and the applause washed over them, Gill felt a sense of relief and accomplishment. He had taken the first step in what would be a new journey, both for him and for the Eagles. The road ahead would have its challenges, but this first show had proven that there was a place for Vince Gill in this legendary band, creative differences and breaking points. As Vince Gill settled into his role with the Eagles, the honeymoon period began to wane, and the realities of being in a band with strong creative personalities emerged. The Eagles had always been known for their perfectionism and sometimes intense creative process. Gill, coming from a background of solo work and more casual collaborations, found himself in unfamiliar territory. Disagreements arose, particularly during songwriting and arranging sessions. The Eagles' sound was a delicate balance, crafted over years of collaboration. Gill's ideas, while often innovative, sometimes clashed with the established approach. There were heated discussions about guitar parts, vocal arrangements, and even setlist choices. Don Henley, known for his exacting standards, would often push for multiple takes of a song, seeking a level of perfection that could be exhausting. Joe Walsh's more spontaneous style sometimes conflicted with this approach, creating tension in the studio. Gill found himself caught in the middle, trying to navigate these different creative philosophies. These conflicts took a toll on Gill. Used to having control over his musical output, he now had to compromise and sometimes see his ideas shelved. There were moments when he felt his contributions were undervalued or misunderstood. The pressure to fit in while also bringing something new to the band became increasingly difficult to balance. As the tensions mounted, Gill began to question his place in the Eagles. He loved the music and respected his bandmates, but the constant negotiations and creative battles were draining. There were nights after particularly difficult sessions when Gill seriously considered walking away. The thought of leaving was painful. Gill had invested so much of himself in this new chapter of his career, and he genuinely believed in what the Eagles stood for musically. But he also wondered if the cost to his peace of mind and creative fulfillment was too high. This internal struggle came to a head during a grueling week of rehearsals for an upcoming tour. After a frustrating day of reworking arrangements, Gill found himself at a breaking point. He realized that something needed to change, or his time with the Eagles might come to an premature end. The turning point. Just when it seemed that the situation might become untenable, a crucial moment arrived that would reshape Vince Gill's experience with the Eagles. After a particularly tense rehearsal, Don Henley approached Gill, sensing the turmoil that had been building. Henley suggested they take a walk, away from the pressure of the studio and the watchful eyes of the other band members. As they strolled, Henley opened up about his own experiences with the band over the years. He shared stories of conflicts, creative differences, and moments when he too had considered walking away. This candid conversation revealed a side of the Eagles that Gill hadn't seen before. Henley explained that the band's intensity and perfectionism, while challenging, were rooted in a deep commitment to the music. He acknowledged the difficulty of joining such an established group and praised Gill for the unique qualities he brought to the band. Henley's words had a profound impact on Gill. He began to see the conflicts not as personal attacks, but as part of the creative process that had produced some of the most enduring music in rock history. This new perspective allowed Gill to approach disagreements with a more open mind, seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. The conversation also helped Gill realize that his voice within the band was valued. Henley encouraged him to continue bringing his ideas to the table, emphasizing that the Eagles' sound had always evolved through the contributions of its members. This turning point didn't magically solve all the problems, but it provided a new foundation for Gill's relationship with the band. He returned to rehearsals with renewed energy and a deeper understanding of the Eagles' dynamic. The other members, sensing this shift, began to open up more, creating a more collaborative and positive environment. Vince's impact on the Eagles' sound. As Vince Gill grew more comfortable in his role with the Eagles, his influence on the band's sound became increasingly evident. His voice, with its clear emotive quality, added a new dimension to the Eagles' legendary harmonies. Songs like Take It to the Limit and Peaceful Easy Feeling took on new life with Gill's vocals blending seamlessly with the existing harmonies. Gill's guitar work also made a significant impact. His versatile playing style, honed through years in country music, brought a fresh perspective to the Eagles' rock sound. On classics like Hotel California, Gill's solos paid homage to the original while adding his own flair, breathing new energy into familiar tunes. In the studio, Gill's contributions went beyond just performing. His songwriting skills and arranging ideas began to shape the band's new material. He brought a country-tinged sensibility that complemented the Eagles' existing sound without overpowering it. This fusion resulted in songs that felt both classic and contemporary, appealing to longtime fans while attracting new listeners. One of the most notable examples of Gill's influence was on the song Heartache Tonight. His guitar work and vocals gave the track a renewed energy, with fans and critics noting how he had managed to honor Glenn Frey's original performance while making the song his own. Gill's presence also allowed the band to explore their catalog more deeply. Songs that had been left off set lists for years were revived, with Gill's skills allowing for new interpretations. This kept the live shows fresh and exciting, even for fans who had seen the Eagles multiple times. Throughout this evolution, Gill remained mindful of the Eagles' legacy. He never sought to overshadow the band's history, but instead focused on enhancing what was already there. This approach earned him respect from both his bandmates and the Eagles' devoted fan base. The result was a revitalized Eagles sound that honored the past while moving forward. Gill had managed to integrate himself into the band in a way that felt natural and unforced. His contributions had become an essential part of the Eagles' musical identity, ensuring that the band remained relevant and vibrant in a new era. Fan reactions. The addition of Vince Gill to the Eagles was met with a wide range of reactions from the band's diverse fan base. Longtime fans who had followed the Eagles since their early days were initially skeptical. Many felt that the band couldn't be the same without Glenn Frey, and were resistant to any changes to the lineup they had known and loved for decades. However, as Gill began performing with the band, opinions started to shift. His obvious respect for the Eagles' legacy and his skillful integration into their sound won over many doubters. Fans appreciated that Gill wasn't trying to replace Glenn Frey, but was instead honoring his memory while bringing his own talents to the group. Social media buzzed with discussions about Gill's performances. Many fans shared videos of concerts pointing out moments where Gill's contributions shone. Comments sections filled with surprised admissions from initially skeptical fans who found themselves impressed by the new lineup. Not everyone was convinced, though. A subset of fans remained adamant that the Eagles without Glenn Frey were not truly the Eagles. They viewed Gill's addition as a departure from the band's authentic sound and spirit. Music critics generally responded positively to Gill's inclusion. Many praised the band for choosing a musician of Gill's caliber, and noted how his skills complemented the existing members. Reviews of live shows often highlighted Gill's performances as standout moments. Vince Gill's journey with the Eagles is a testament to resilience, musical evolution, and the power of collaboration. Despite initial challenges, his contributions have breathed new life into the band's iconic sound. As the Eagles continue to soar with Gill on board, their legacy remains vibrant, honoring the past while embracing the future.